let's talk about this very important concept called mindshare positioning. So mindshare positioning is something that we advocate here in PropertyLimBrothers. So basically, in PropertyLimBrothers, we have this thing called a playbook, called the PLB Insight Sales Team Playbook. There's this thing called mindshare positioning. Now, over the years, I pick up reading, and of course, this playbook is a combination of things that we have learned over the years, and of course, a lot of things comes from some of my favorite authors and favorite books. So there's this thing called the mindshare positioning. If you're thinking about what books to read, there was a post on my Instagram before about some of the top 10 real estate books that I love. Some of them belongs to The Millionaire Real Estate Agent. There's a book by Tom Hopkins on the art of selling real estate. The One Thing. There's a lot of different kind of books that I think can help you. The most important thing is that as a solopreneur, you need to come into the industry with a mindset that you want to learn, and you need to learn fast. And mindshare positioning is a concept that consumers love to simplify their lives. So let's take for example, if I'm a consumer, I mean, all of us are consumers to a certain extent, right? So consumer or family, they will always want an expert in a certain need of their life. So for example, I only want to deal with one insurance professional that handles all my insurance policies for my family. I maybe only want to deal with a family doctor. I don't want to have so many different family doctors. I want to have only one dentist that I visit regularly, one barber or hairdresser that I visit regularly. I want to have maybe one real estate agent that handles all my sale, purchase, rental, and things like that for all my properties. And this is a concept that is very prevalent in the mindset of consumers because we want to simplify our lives. There's so many clutter, so many distractions, so many things happening at the same time in our lives, right? We need to handle our health, family, our work, our business, our relationships. We need to meet people. We need to think about bills to pay, think about the future of our kids, need to think about helping our local community, family issues, friends issues. There's so many things that we need to handle, right? But the last thing we want is to have so many multiple consultants in the same need category that we have. And thus, mindshare positioning then gives us an insight on how we can position ourselves as a very solid real estate consultant. This means that there are two things to learn here. Number one, an average consumer in Singapore will go through different journeys. So for example, a young couple will usually come out and get a BTO first. Of course, BTO, as a real estate consultant, you cannot dabble into BTO because BTO is sold directly from HDB to the consumer, right? So you can only dabble with anything resale or brand new private properties. So usually a consumer will come with BTO first, but people also need BTO advice, right? So maybe you might think, hey, if I were to give advice to my friends asking for BTO advice, but I also cannot sell BTOs, why should I give advice? But then there will be a very short-term mindset. A long-term mindset will be thinking that it's okay, I can genuinely help my friends because I know about BTO, I studied that, can just share with my friends that once you get a BTO, construction period, 3 to 5 years, after another 5 years of MOP, if you want to sell effectively, what should be the correct property, the correct facing, the correct stack to choose, the correct kind of layout to choose for a BTO so that in future, after 8 to 9 years, if you sell, you will not face an issue. Of course, you might be thinking, hey, 8 to 9 years later, will my friend remember me that I gave them this free advice? Let me share with you that in this industry, prospecting, marketing, giving value, giving advice, this is all by a leap of faith. It is really like a farmer's mentality, right? A farmer has only one chance in 4 seasons of a year to sow his seeds, to plow the soil, and then he has to sow his seeds by faith and then wait for the harvest seasons later. Whether that year is going to be a drought year or it's going to be a flooding year, it's all controlled by nature, right? And a farmer don't overthink. They don't overthink that this year will there be a flood, and if I think there's a flood, maybe I don't want to sow my seeds anymore, right? I don't want to plow the soil. I don't want to put in this hard work. But a farmer will do that year after year, year after year by faith. Because whatever the outcome it is, he just need to know that he need to do his best in this season and leave every outcome to nature. That's fine. So being in this business is the same, because if you overthink, then technically speaking, you are not sowing seeds. Because, for example, let me just change your perspective a little bit. If 10 of our friends are going for BTO, all 10 come to you for free advice, and you clearly know that only 10 years later will then be able to reap the fruits if all 10 friends come back 10 years later and say that, Mel, my place has reached MOP. I want to thank you because 10 years back when I was selecting this product, you gave me free advice, and now I want to sell. I want to let you have the business.